Let's bring in Danielle DeMarco. She's our mortgage expert. She not only helps you get a mortgage for your next rental property, she helps you develop a real estate investment plan so you can buy more than one.
Yeah, while you let Danielle in, we've been working with Danielle since 2000 and when we started, 2006, 2005. Yeah. And Danielle doesn't get our clients just a mortgage. She gets them a mortgage plan. So if you do come to us, once again, our aim is to buy you $1 million worth of real estate with as very little cash as possible to buy that $1 million worth of real estate. Tim, and that can be made up of 4 properties or 3 properties or 2 properties. All we care about is that those properties cash flow and that they're turnkey and that they'll rent out 100% of the time. We're aiming for 100% occupancy. And you know what? Danielle works out a way for our clients to get them there.
Okay, take it away, Danielle.
Thank you, guys. So today we just kind of wanted to talk about something we've been fielding a lot of questions about lately. Tim and Azad touched on house prices and where we're at and how clients who waited a year ago are paying now $100,000 more. So obviously the higher the house price combined with these higher interest rates makes it more difficult to qualify for mortgages. So as a result, we're seeing a lot of people ask, what if I want to purchase with a friend or have a cosigner? How does that work? So we wanted to kind of go through a couple of examples, and then I think Tim and Azad are going to pop back on, and we can maybe do a Q&A to kind of go through a few other examples. But essentially, if you and a friend are purchasing a property, there's a few ways that mortgage financing can be set up. But it will depend on the type of property you're purchasing and the intended use of the property. So is it a home that's one of you's moving into? Is it a rental property that neither of you are moving into? These kind of things are going to determine how we can set that financing up. So to start off with an example, if you're purchasing a home that you are going to be moving into and you have a friend co-signing for you, where we would use your friend's income to help you qualify. So this would be an example where maybe the house price is a bit more than you can qualify for on your own. So we add on a friend, bring in their income, their debts, and they happen to make a decent enough income that it helps elevate your application so that you can qualify for more. In this case, the title is actually registered jointly as per normal, as per the bank's requirements. They would be considered a cosigner, but they would be considered a 50% owner in the eyes of the bank. Both of you would be on title, both of you would be on the mortgage, and that mortgage would reflect on both of your credit reports. So it would affect your friend's qualifying ability in the future for additional properties. Now, how do you divide? Let's say you're coming in with the down payment, but they're co-signing. You can divide that as in first money in, first money out. Basically, equity split, all of that can be dealt with in the form of a joint venture agreement, which is something you're going to want to have on file regardless, because if somebody's co-signing for you, but you're coming in with all of the down payment, maybe they're just co-signing as a favor, then you would want ownership to potentially be different or equity split at the end of the day to potentially be different. An alternate example is if you're purchasing a rental property. So let's say you and a friend are getting together, you're going in 50-50 on a rental property. Well, in that case, if one of you is going to do the mortgage and one of you is going to do the down payment, or both of you do the mortgage, both of you do the mortgage and both of you do the down payment, you can see how there's all of these different options. So how we satisfy that is again through a joint venture agreement and putting on there, okay, well, if it's first money in, first money out, let's say you put in a $20,000 down payment and your friend puts in 10. Well, it wouldn't necessarily be fair that at the end of the day, you guys split everything 50-50 and down the middle because you put in more capital upfront to start the process and purchase the property. So again, that would come to a joint venture agreement with maybe your 20,000 in is the first 20,000 out, their 10,000 in is the next 10,000 out. And from there, you split it 50-50. So lots of different ways we can do it, but either way, if you're both going to be on the mortgage, whoever is on the mortgage has to be on the title, and whoever is on the title has to be on the mortgage, vice versa. So that's important to remember. Another option would be, let's say you're qualifying for the home, but your friend is going to give you the down payment. So your friend is not going on the mortgage, not going on title, but you don't have enough saved up, but you qualify. They could give you the down payment, but there's a couple of ways only that we can set this up, because technically you are not allowed to get a gift from a friend And technically you're not allowed to borrow money from friends. So if that money had to be paid back. So essentially there's a couple ways we can do that. Your friend has a bank account. Let's say it's got $20,000 sitting in it, and that's going to be your down payment. They can either add you to that bank account. So then you can print off bank statements showing both your names on there and showing a 90-day history. Or you could open a new joint account with both your names. Your friend moves that money into that joint account, and we let that money sit there for 90 days. So that way you both have ownership of the account. Your friend can monitor it and make sure you're not taking the money out without permission. And then that money would sit there for 90 days. Once it's sat there for 90 days, then you can use it because then it's considered to be your own money. So again, that's a way for you, if you're able to qualify, but you don't quite have enough down payment, to get a down payment from a friend and still meet the bank's requirements. So a couple important things are, reminder that anybody who's going on the mortgage, they also have to be on title, and anybody going on the title has to be on the mortgage. So that's really important. This will affect credit. So if you have a cosigner or a friend, whoever is on the mortgage, that will appear on their credit report going forward for qualifying. Anyone giving down payment but not going on the mortgage cannot be on the title, and it won't affect their credit. So if you're the one giving a down payment, but you want your rights protected to make sure you get that money back if they were to sell, that's where that joint venture agreement would come in. And again, in the case where a friend is giving the down payment but not going on the mortgage, the down payment can't be gifted. So we would add your name to a bank account or open up a new joint bank account. So those are kind of the highlights of how we would set it up.
Awesome, Danielle. Yeah, and the reason why we wanted Danielle to go over this is because it's becoming more popular. There's people that are renting out there, especially having roommates, and it's so expensive to rent. I think just being student rental and renting a room is $1,000 per room. So these days you'll find that it's going to become more and more popular where friends are getting together and buying property. So Danielle, I know, and this is what everyone has to understand, is when you're doing it a straight up 50-50 deal where either whoever, it doesn't matter who's putting the deposit down, we always believe that it should be a 50-50 deal. So what we're saying, or what Danielle is saying, is if I'm putting up all of the deposit to help a young person move into their property, that deposit will come back to me. First money in is always first money out. So that deposit, when we go to refinance or we go to sell, that deposit will come back to me, but I would help them qualify, and I'm on the title then. So you're protected by a JV agreement and you're protected by being on title as well. So it's kind of a double whammy.
Yeah, and one thing I want to mention here is that Danielle talked about a whole bunch of different scenarios of two people getting together to buy that house. What we really caution people to do is follow the mortgage broker's instructions. They want it set up in a specific way so that you don't raise any red flags with the lenders. They have to follow certain steps to stay within their rules. So we just want to caution everybody that if you are going into a joint venture situation like this, is follow Danielle's instructions to a T, because she knows how to deal with the lenders.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and then once you get the mortgage, again, lawyer's side, Tim and Azad's assistants, you guys can come up with a joint venture agreement that would protect your rights separate from the mortgage. And again, like Tim said, it's really, really important because the lenders are really strict in how financing can be set up. So if you do have questions about it, we can absolutely chat about it. But joint venture agreements, as Tim and Azad know, they can be set up any way that you want. The rules are endless. The guidelines are endless. If you want first money out, if you want 50-50, if you want someone to manage the property, but the other person's going to qualify, who's going to collect the rent, who's doing the maintenance, all of that kind of stuff can go into a joint venture agreement and cover a lot of those specifics. But as far as the mortgage goes, we have to make sure that we're following the mortgage lender's rules to a T.
Yeah, and so that's awesome, Danielle, because we know that everybody knows somebody renting, and if you could help them actually get into home ownership and help them start getting ahead instead of just throwing the money away each month. I mean, rents for a 2-bedroom condo are upwards of, $1,850, $2,000 a month. That's a lot of money. That's $24,000 a year going out, where that could be getting applied to a mortgage and now paying down that mortgage. And as we went through our market report, Tim, the condo market's just going to continue to go up. So they'll be doing very well. Or if they get into a duplex or a small starter home, the only way is up, helping out somebody that's renting. And that's a benefit for you because you then can qualify if they're moving into it for 5% down. So that is key to any investor, saving onto your cash flow there or saving onto the cash in the bank and spreading it around onto multiple properties. So hopefully that helps everyone out there. Danielle, thank you so much for that mortgage tip there. That was awesome.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you in a couple of weeks. If anybody wants to get hold of Danielle, there is her details. She's helped our clients, as we said, since 2006. She is awesome. We trust her, Tim, 100% with our clients. And you know what? The results speak for themselves.
Yeah. So thanks again, Danielle.